ever wake up in the morning and spot a bald spot or a thin spot that wasn't there the day before? You're not alone. And no, it's not always stress or genetics. There are over a dozen different scalp disorders. And because there's so many, most people have never heard of them. And for this reason, it's really easy for them to sneak up on you, and before you know it, you're bald head. Today, I'm going to explain 17 different scalp disorders that lead to balding, thinning, just overall bald spots. The common, the rare, and the downright weird scalp disorders. Plus, I'm gonna hop into the everyday mechanical habits that make these different scalp disorders worse. Stick around to the end of this video because some of them are gonna blow your mind and it's gonna make you mad at yourself, because I'm mad at you and we ain't even got started yet.
I am back! What it do, baby?
Part 1. The usual suspect that most people never recognize. Most people think that bald spots equal or link to male pattern baldness, but girl, you ain't a boy. So let's get into some of the real causes. Alopecia areata has smooth, brown, bald spots where your immune system is the one that's causing all of the damage. This is a scientific name for scalp wingworm. This is a fungus, not an actual worm. This ends up leaving scaly patches all over the scalp. DLE. This looks a little bit like eczema, but most of the time it permanently scars the follicle and the hair can never grow back. These are people who most likely have to get a follicle transplant. There is no other option. Folliculitis. This is a bacterial war zone, and most women who go get braids and tight hairstyles have folliculitis. You know, these little white bumps that pop up along the hairline or just on the scalp period. Girl, you got folliculitis. So that was just the warm-up. I know y'all already saw the video on that. You're like, see, you already said this. Well, these are 12 that nobody really talks about. I bet you've never heard of some of these. LPP. This is an itchy, inflamed scalp that results in bald patches, and for most people, the hair never grows back. FFA. This is the hairline recession in women that often happens after menopause. This is something that can be reversed, but you end up having to change a whole lot of your habits, your diet, things of that nature. But I digress. This is another form of folliculitis where it's extreme, especially on the back of the neck, and it leaves permanent scarring. Not just within the hair follicle, but actually on the surface of the skin that you can see. This next one creates painful nodules that end up leaking pus and create permanent bald patches in those places where it had those lesions. This next one is one that they called footprints in the snow, where it leaves permanent patches throughout the scalp. If you want to know a little bit more about this one, it requires a deep dive. So if you want a deep dive for this one, say or type out the title of the name of this disorder in the comments. This next one is a severe fungal infection that has abscesses that form and permanently scar. A lot of you have these and you run to oils and things of that nature. Some people even have videos of lancing them and putting oils on them. You guys have massive scalp infections that you try to cure with oils. It's been going on forever. I wish it was done. Telogen effluvium, we talk about that all the time. Video about it in the description box below. This is stress induced balding or shedding. The word effluvium means hair fall, and telogen is the resting phase of the hair growth cycle. So telogen effluvium means hair fall within the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle, which leads us to the next one. Anagen effluvium, same thing, hair fall within the anagen phase, which is the growing phase of the hair growth cycle. Next up, this is a form of alopecia from a certain type of disease. Moth-eaten is where you have patchy baldness that looks like this. This is why it's so important for you to find braiders that really know what they're doing, that are really sterile, because, and not just braiders, people that do hair in general, because the types of scalp and follicle disorders you have most likely received from your braider or your hairstylist that you went to for the low at the house or in the hood, girl. Okay. Next up is iron deficiency hair loss. This gives you patchy patches and thinning, especially in women. Most people don't know this. You're trying all of these different products, but girl or boy, you could just be really deficient in iron. That's why most people are like, oh, I'll go to the dermatologist, they tell me exactly what to do. The dermatologist does so much more than that. Yeah, they'll tell you how to fix things, but you want to go to the dermatologist to get your blood work done so you can see if there are any vitamins or anything that you're deficient in. And once you get your blood work done and all of the things, you can look at it and you can make the changes in your diet according to that. Most of you are using doctors all the wrong ways, but let's keep going. Thyroid disease, hair loss. This is when your body's hormones literally completely destroy your hair follicles. Now, this one here is a really rare blistering disease that ends up causing blisters that create patches that end up scarring over and causing balding within the scalp. Here's the real villain: the mechanical factors. Now, here's the plot twist that most people aren't ready for, because most of your daily habits, practices, products, and all of the things are the accelerators, if not the causes, of most of these disorders. Tight hairstyles fuel traction alopecia. They worsen lupus, CCCA, and LPP. Your braids, I know you like them, but girl, frictions, that's hats, wigs, helmets, which leads to scalp irritation and inflammation from the bacteria accumulated in the hats, the scarves, and the wigs. This also leads to folliculitis, like we talked about. Heat and chemicals put on improperly. So when we talk about heat damaging hair or relaxers damaging hair, that's when you do it wrong, right? Just like whenever you flat iron your edges and things of that nature, y'all love to call them baby hairs, and they actually are baby hairs, but we need to treat them like that. A baby hair is a hair that just came out of the follicle. It is in its infancy stage. Like you said, it's a baby hair. So whenever you're in the salon, that's when the heat is the lowest around the edges, and that's why I love the round brush, because I get the majority of the texture with the round brush, the smallest one, so I don't have to add that much heat to the perimeter, which ends up causing a little bit of inflammation. It's the truth. If you want to know a little bit more about that, link in the description box below. The same thing for chemicals. When you are in cosmetology school, actually when you go to take your state board exam, they are looking at where you put the product on. You're never supposed to put it directly on the scalp. If you do, you'll get marked off. You'll get points marked off. So it's never supposed to be on the scalp and just sitting there. It ends up swelling and slightly touching it, but not enough to do those things, especially when the scalp is based properly. These things done improperly end up weakening the follicles, which slow down the natural hair growth cycle, sending you into telogen effluvium or anagen effluvium. Scratching and picking, a lot of people have that. We had a whole video about that, but scratching and picking can lead to permanent scarring where the hair never grows back again, unless you get a follicle transplant. Next up is going to be your wig glues and your tapes and all of those things. They end up trapping bacteria, triggering infections, leading to inflammation, folliculitis, CCCA, and all of the other things that we talk about. If you want to learn more about scalp infections and hair shaft disorders, make sure you check the playlist in the description box. Heavy oils and pomades, these things end up clogging the pores and the follicles, trapping bacteria within the follicle, making it really great environment for all of the different scalp disorders I just told you about. And the rough grooming that pushes weak follicles over the edge, regardless of what anybody wants to say. Anytime I watch a video and I see somebody get ready to comb through their hair and they're like, oh, let me make it easier, and they take a water bottle. It's like, let me wet the hair first. That's how you know you're watching somebody who does not know what they're doing. That is how you treat a wig. But with human hair, which is the same thing with a wig too, that's made with human hair, your hair is weakest when it's wet. So the last thing you want to do to detangle hair that's already pretty fragile because it's tangled is wet it and break the hydrogen bond, right? Because there are only 3 bonds holding your hair together. One is the hydrogen bond broken by water. So if a bond is broken, by definition, your hair is not whole and it's not at its strongest. So it doesn't make sense to do those things, right? So those are the things that I really want you to pay attention to when it comes to avoiding the things that make these hair shaft disorders, that make these scalp disorders worsen, or they start them in the first place. And you want to know the scary part? The majority of these conditions are treatable if you catch them early enough, but the majority of you will never catch it early enough. You'll just cause them to worsen by using another product and packing more oils and butters and greases by your favorite YouTuber on the scalp. Ooh, more co-washing than all of the things. They're just gonna make these disorders worse. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just letting you know what it is, because YouTube is like timeless. You can go watch videos from like 12-13 years ago, and so this will be here, so when things start happening, you can remember somebody warned you, but you didn't listen. I love you guys so much. So the next time you see a bald spot or a weird thin spot in your scalp, don't just blame stress or the last hair product that you used or Mielle Organics or somebody. Think deeper. Could it be autoimmune? Could it be fungal or mechanical? Like, there's so many different things. Drop it in the comments for me if whether or not you've ever had a bald patch, a mysterious bald patch, or a mysterious thin spot, or if you just popped, if one just popped up recently, right? Let me know in the comments, and then think about it and let me know based on a couple of your practices. Let's be accountable, Patty, right? Accountable Patties only. Let's be accountable and see what patterns and routines you could have done to cause these things or to make them worse. If you want to see more weird but real scalp and follicle bacterial breakdowns, then let me know in the comments and send this to somebody who wear braids way too tight, who keep putting oils and butters and greases in their hair, because I'll tell them to stop. All right, I love you so much. Send them here. Are they here? She said stop. He said stop. And in a minute, you're going to be bald head. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do. But this video is going to be on my channel forever. And they brought you to the video so you can listen. But the thing is, you don't got to listen today. But everybody always come back around. But sometimes you be too late and you're going to forever be a bald head skittle with no hair in the middle, huh? A Humpty Dump with no hair in the front. A scallywag with no hair in the back. You don't even got to go out like that. They sent you this video because they love you. They sent you the video because they love you and they don't want you to be bald head. So just take it into consideration and go ahead, and if you need a little help piecing things together, then go ahead and get my new book. It's on Amazon and it'll help you break all these things down beautifully. See, take a look.